Welcome back to another episode of books that you probably should read, but you've probably never heard of. Today's a special edition because we're going to go over homeschooling curriculums for mathematics. Just as a sidebar, I am a huge fan of math. I love math. It's one of my favorite subjects. All right, so I'm going to tell you that you get what you pay for. That's the first caveat of this whole discussion is these two different curriculums. There's a big difference in price point. So the first one that we're going to talk about is MCP Mathematics. Now, this retails for about $32 per book, around $60 for the teacher's manual and the book. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest with you. First and foremost, I don't like the font of the book, and my daughter does not as well. For us, a font is a make or break thing. We have to look at it all year. We might as well like the font. It sounds crazy. But my biggest problem with this particular curriculum is that the student textbook does not have explanations of the mathematics at all. See, most of the explanation for why you're doing the math is out of the text, out of the teacher's manual, which means that I have to convey all of the mathematic techniques, even though I can, from said textbook. So I'm not a huge fan of that because I would like my children to be able to pick up a book and learn from it. Basically why we're homeschooling, so that they can learn how to learn for themselves. I'm not a huge fan of it, just because of the way that the textbook and the learning style is set up. It's just not for me, and it's not for my daughter. Now I'm going to share with you what I think is the GOAT of all homeschooling curriculums, okay? This is the Cadillac edition of mathematics textbooks. That would be Saxon Math. Now, full disclosure, this is an old book. It is my old textbook from when I was homeschooled. Put a pin in that. We're going to talk about that later. What I love most about these textbooks is the fact that they're set up like a college textbook. They have explanations of what the mathematics that you're going to be doing, including definitions that you need to learn, as well as problems that you work on. Obviously, I haven't written in this one, so this is how I learned how to do math. And what I liked most about this particular curriculum is that the mathematics was not such a huge leap from my high school mathematics to my college mathematics. It was basically set up the same exact way. And although I really love math, it wasn't that big of a leap for me going into college to take higher level math courses without any issues. Additionally, I think that learning how to do math with a paper and pencil is very important because it helps retain the information. So having to write the problems out from the textbook to a piece of paper also is very, very important. And those who do any kind of English or writing techniques, they do know that you do need to write with your hand and paper so that you can retain the information because it's easier, especially for ADHD kids. Now, as I previously mentioned, I myself was homeschooled for middle school, and then I went back to public school in 8th grade. Because of Saxon Math, I was actually testing into college level courses when I went back to public school. I scored in the 97th percentile on my math, and I scored a 28 on my ACTs.